Let's go, let's go, let's go. City, hood, click, let's get it, let's go. Professor Melly Mail, the Hood Postman. Shout out to the Mailroom Nation, the Mailroom Goons. We are back, we are back. What's good? What's good? You people have had a great weekend. It's MLK Day today, right? One of my favorite quotes from MLK is the two most dangerous things in the world is sincere ignorance and conscientious stupidity. MLK right there. And shout out to Maya Angelou for getting her base on the court. I think it should have been more a bigger bill, you know what I mean? But that's a start, right? Shout out to that. You know, how you guys doing in the chat room today? Shout out to Joey. What's good? That's my boy. Joey, what's going on, Joey? With Yusuf. That's Yusuf cousin right there. Wesley, what's going on? Dookie Draws, what's happening, man? Mike Marks, I see you in there, man. Shout out to the Mailroom Nation, the Mailroom Room. Shout out to Marlena Williams. Shout out to the Postmaster General. Shout out to those who are in the chat room doing the work. My moderators are the best people on the planet. Hands down, they do their thing, you know. Hope you guys enjoyed your MLK Day. As for me, I did. Stone, what's going on with you? Right on, Joy. Knee deep in a manhole. Wow. It's kind of chilly for that, isn't it? Back then in Jersey. Okay. Well, we have a special guest coming to us today by the way of Jersey. His name would be Gunna. Gunna. Young Gunna. So we're going to get to that soon as he jump in there. Salute to Mike Marks. What's happening, man? They would raid the chat. That's right, Mark. Mike, you know what? I humbly and respectfully and wholeheartedly believe that without you and Marlena, they would raid the chat with a bunch of buffoonery and nonsense. How was your weekend, bro? How was your weekend, Marlena? Yes, ma'am. I give them flowers, man. Them Raider Niners all day, baby. Enjoy Martin Luther King Day. Right on. Shout out to the mailroom. G Foster, what's good, bro? What is good? He's delusional. Okay, Marlena. Marlena. Lakeisha, what's happening? How you guys doing today? Did you guys have fun? Did you actually get the day off? And you guys anybody get the day off? As for me, y'all see I'm in my office. I'm in my workspace. I'm in everything. The truck represent a lot. Trust me, a lot. I'm behind. Oh shucks. There you go, Marlena. There he go. What did you guys do with your weekend? Happy birthday to Marlena's mother as well. Happy birthday to her. She's over there doing her thing. Right, Marlena? Happy birthday to your mom. I was working. I just go to sleep at work. Shucks. G Foster, what's going on, man? Happy birthday to your mom. Yes, yes. Thank you, Professor. I appreciate it. I definitely humbly respect that. Salute to the Martin Luther King Day. They really didn't have a whole lot of festivities today because of the 19, right? Oh, your birthday is on the Thursday. Right on, Lakeisha. I appreciate it. I appreciate you tapping in and joining us on this day. I don't know what's holding the guests up. Let's see. Let me duck out for a minute and see what's going on. Okay, hold on. Hello. Yes, we are back. Let's see. Let's get the guests in. There you go. There you go. What's good? What's good?
So what's the
Yes,
business,
we are
homie?
back. Let's see. Let's get the guests in. So
There
you
you
got a
go.
double feed
There
going.
you go. What's good? What's
You got
good?
you
So
got
what's the
either some
business, homie?
windows open or you got YouTube open at the same
You got
time you got your phone open.
there you
So only one device.
go. What's
You got
good?
you
So
got
what's the
either
business,
some windows
homie?
open or you got YouTube open at the same
You
time you got
got
your phone open. So only
choose
one
one device.
device.
What's good? You got either some windows open or you got YouTube open at the same time you got your phone open. So only
Choose
one
one
device.
device.
You got either the windows open or you got
So
YouTube
close the
open.
YouTube and just work from StreamYard.
So only one device. You got either the windows open or
Let's see. Hopefully he get it together. How you guys doing? Hey, there you go. E Money, what's happening? What's up, Big Steve? What's happening, man? Ball gang. Close the YouTube. Let's see. Okay. Uh, okay. How about now? Right on, Steve.
hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, see, now that's a much better feed right there. Yeah, we can't have multiple devices open, you know. So how's your day go, man? How did you celebrate MLK, or did you celebrate it at all? What
Nah,
did you do?
I ain't celebrated because today is not his day. Saturday was his birthday, so
Yeah,
people got to get that misconception out their head because
yeah.
it's sad that people could remember the number Jordans when they come out, but they can't remember the man that sacrificed his life and freedom for his people. His birthday the 15th, not the
That's
17th.
true.
So it's like
That is
so
true.
it's like how anybody would get that misconstrued, right? When for one,
Uh-huh.
he didn't get killed on that balcony. He got shot and survived. They killed him in a hospital.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
True.
So like for everybody that's listening, they need to research that because I know like damn sure nobody else would celebrate their birthday on another day when it's actually that's not their day.
That's not what we do. We always celebrate it on the day of. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But we're living in Western cultural society, so Western cultural society is notorious for moving the goalposts.
yeah. And most importantly, it's like I'm not following no system that you're gonna give us a day, but you the one that killed them for nothing.
Right, 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 right.
No, man. So,
Yeah. So introduce yourself, man. Let's get a little background on you, man. Introduce
oh
yourself.
man, my real name Julius Jones, man. I go by Gunna. Some people call me Old Dog for situations that happen in broad day. Some people call me Walk Ups, but at the end of the day, it's all the same person, Gunna. I'm from Jersey, Jersey City. I'm one of the originals for Fruittown Brims, 36th Street. It was brought in Jersey, and well, the homies touched down in 1992, but the seed was planted in 93, 1993 to be exact, in April.
Oh, hold
But
up just a moment. Hold up
yeah,
just a moment, Gunny, because I gotta acknowledge this. Chat room. I got my daughter in the chat room, Melanie Gibson, and this is a first. This is new for her dad. You know, so I'm smiling that my daughter actually came out and to see what her dad does. So yeah, back to you, Julia. So what? Go ahead, finish what you were saying.
yeah, 1993. But like me having respect for the culture and this shit wholeheartedly embedded in me, this shit all over my body. Like I don't count that jail shit. So for me, like when we talk about Bloods, down moves as a whole on the East Coast, people got the misconception when they be talking about these documentaries and all of that, and they talk about New York. New York ain't start this B thing, and most importantly, it started in Jersey, East Orange to be exact, because you got the homie Gangsta Love from Queen Street, which is the homie brother, if I'm not mistaken, blood from neighborhood Pyru.
Mm-hmm.
What's blood name? But you had Big Trouble. They had Bum Out Here to Jersey and East Orange with the Naughty by Nature, to be exact, Tretch. And this at the time where Queen Latifah was
What year was this? Give us a year for this.
This was in 1993.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like Queen Street is the ones that migrated, you know what I mean, from Englewood all the way out here to Jersey and planted a West Coast base set in Jersey. So how could people keep talking about Rikers Island, New York, when that was made up? That was something
So
that
let
people
me
read
ask
off
you
the
a
book.
question though. So how do we get the name Mac? There always seem to be a lot of people giving commentary to this guy named Mac. So explain us that phenomenon right there, if you can.
Well, what was done in New York was done in New York. New York is New York. Jersey is Jersey. Jersey and New York don't get along because of this Damu thing. Because they
Well,
rather
that's
father.
not what I'm getting at. They're trying to seem like Mac is the father of the blood movement altogether, whether it was Jersey, New York, the whole East Coast in its entirety.
In Jersey, he doesn't exist. How a person that bent the rules exists? He never been to Jersey. Nobody
When you say
that's
bent the
claiming
rules, when you say bent the rules, what did he do to bend the rules? What were the rules?
he snitched before he even did what he did.
Okay.
That's been in the rules. It's like, if everybody know he bent the rules, right? Why are you making a snitch irrelevant? So to me, if you saying you from the streets, how people from the streets are claiming that they real, they claim that they loyal, they claim they know these rules and regulations, you making a rat irrelevant. If a rat is a rat, he should never be irrelevant. Bottom line.
So,
I don't give a
so what
fuck
you
what
saying
blood
that it's pretty much he from the sidewalk, and he ain't from the streets.
Yeah, you from the sidewalks, you ain't from the streets. That just like you got most people now. You got most people, you look on YouTube, everybody gossip, go back and forth. What they talking about the politics, they talking about the gang banging, they talking about gang shit, they talking about the culture and all that. It's certain things you just don't do as a man. Because you know what I'm saying? So it's like, you're not from the streets, homie. You from the sidewalks. Just because you was outside, that shit don't mean nothing to me. It's certain shit you just don't do. And again, like back to what I was saying, like if you in jail, how do you talking about what's done on the streets? You in jail, homie. No, I mean, this shit started in Jersey, and that's it. Ain't nobody can tell me different. Because after Queen Street Bloods, mind you, we was already here. But again, when we talking about Bloods, we talking about putting it down or whatever. That was Queen Street Bloods. Queen Street Bloods migrated to Illtown Double I Bloods 235.
So
Fruittown
again,
Bruins was in the prison.
let me
I
ask
don't
you.
count that jail shit.
Okay, let me ask you a deeper question. Being that New York, Jersey, and those big mega cities, right? They represent, for years they represented a knowledge, a black consciousness, right? How did they go from black consciousness and being followers of X Clan and Chuck D and all the conscious rappers that actually came out of there, KRS-One and just to name a few? How did they fall to the culture of West Coast, man? It seemed like you guys would have been more opposed to it than to following it. You know what I mean? Because it was like playing on the lower desires versus being in the conscious realm.
Well, for Jersey, for me, I was outside. I was on the streets off the block since '92. For me, that's not Jersey. That's New York again. That's two different worlds. That's New York
So you
lifestyle.
saying,
Even though
so you telling me that
Jersey is right here, this was brought to us.
Jersey didn't have no conscious brothers in Jersey?
Yeah, there was no. I mean, you have 5%ers, but I wasn't around them type of brothers or whatnot. Who I was raised around, raised around knockout artists. I was raised around people that was getting money. I was raised around people that was hothead. You know know what I mean, that was down in motherfucker, that was putting in work. That's who I was around my whole
So
life.
let me ask you a question. How old are you, Gunna?
I'll be 40 in a few months.
You 40. 40.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was off the block. I was on the block since 92. So I was around, homie. And like nobody can't tell me no different. Like LA culture was brought to Jersey. That's the difference. It was brought to us. You know what I mean? From Queen Street Bloods to Big Deuce. You know what I mean? From Lock Boys.
What was so alluring about it? What was it? Was it like a shiny object or something new or something that just everybody gravitate towards, or what made it so spectacular?
Well, back in these times, everybody wasn't no blood. Everybody was scared to be a blood, but honestly, because for one, before I went to prison, right? Before I got rearrested, in my city alone, Jersey City, it was no more than 11 to 12 of us. And that was 03, right? So now you have people where I have people sending me friend requests, but I never seen them. But they took them out. I see them throwing up a brim sign, but I'll never see you outside. But I just like everywhere else. I just like before I went to prison, there was no brims in South Jersey. You understand what I'm saying? That just like in the East Coast as a whole, there was no Harbor Park brims. There was no Van Ness Gates to brims. I was none of that shit. All this shit came about this internet shit. That just like honestly, truthfully speaking, and I say this with details and facts. Nobody can deny what I'm about to say. Anybody that's representing a West Coast set is cuz of Jersey on the East Coast. Because again, it was brought to us in 92, 93. Nobody can't say no different. Nobody. I don't care who nobody talk to.
Dude, okay, can you give us that name again? Who brought that culture to Jersey?
Who brought the culture to Jersey? The person that brought it to Jersey. I'm not naming that nigga far as the Fruitown brim. That nigga a rat. That nigga told on the whole state.
Wow.
Then he told on the Baltimore homies. They're the only ones I give respect to that was pushing this Damu thing on the East Coast. When we talking about I ain't talking about riding no 5 and none of that. We're talking about representing West Coast sets, man. And that was in 95. That was Baltimore. Other than that, nobody else wasn't repping or pushing no Damu
thing. Let me ask
thing.
you this though, Gunna. Have you figured out by this time that just go along with the culture, whether it's on the East Coast, West Coast? I think.
I know that, but the thing is, now I mean, is more hardened because he just ain't snitch. He misled us. He made himself be something that he wasn't. Then he turned around, told on, and lied to a whole nother state, which is Baltimore City. He got somebody's life, and he living in the feds right now as we speak, where motherfuckers know what's going on. So it's like, if I was on that type of time still back then, man, a lot of motherfuckers be out of here.
So I would take it that at 40 you had to evolve into something else. You actually wrote 3 books, right?
Yes.
Give us what books? What kind of was it philosophy? Was it biographies? What kind of books did you actually write?
Nah, this book right here is Invisible Tears.
Invisible Tears. Tell us about it.
Yeah, this book is about each individuals is six women. 5 out of the 6 women, 5 of them is from LA. Well, they all from LA. 5 of them is Damu's, is Bloods, and the other one is she's now an affiliate. But all of them is sharing like it's like a bio, like a little story about sharing a story, how to prevent kids and parents awareness, how to keep their kids away from the streets and from gangs and redirect and change their life. And at the same time, for those that is in the streets and in gangs, is showing people that also for the men and homies, you know what I mean, and a few non-affiliators that, I mean, just because you out there, just because you did prison time, you can still change your life around. And it's showing the world that you have some people that's making a change in their community. Because I'm showing the world was this because we are Bloods or Crips or we out here in the streets. That don't mean that we ain't making a difference, or because everybody don't end up in prison. Everybody don't end up, know what I mean, dead in the graveyard because they was out there, know what I mean, because they have a past. We all deserve another chance, but you got to give yourself a chance. You got to believe in yourself. Because if you don't believe in yourself, nobody else gonna believe in you.
That's true. So with the three books you picked, so the Tears book, what's the other two titles?
The other one is Love Thy Neighbor, a Brother's Love. That one is
What
about bullying, two biology brothers. Whereas though everywhere they was going from city to city to state, they was being bullied because they were so light skinned. They was like red. So that drove them to get
which is
put
really
on.
a reality in our culture because we
Yeah,
so
yeah. So
color
that
stroke.
that drove them to being, you know what I mean, getting put onto a gang.
Hmm.
So now the older brother, which is a year older than his younger brother, he wound up getting killed, getting shot in the back of the head by a Crip on his brother's birthday. Then the other brother that survived, he wound up getting lined up by his own homie. He had a
Hmm.
wire on him. He ain't even knowing the person that he introduced him, another person from ATL. He was going around setting people up. So right now, as we speak, he in the feds doing federal time. He got 102 months. The feds came and got him like 3 or 4 years later. And the third book is called The Reputable. Tears Still Invisible. That's about me, part of my life story. Whereas though I take people with trials and tribulations from when I got put on, because I was outside before I got put on, homie. Know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
this, no, respectfully, I ain't need no bandana to be outside, whatever. And I say that, know what I mean? I don't care how people feel, man, because it's like when the B thing started getting popular, I got put on before it got, you know what I mean, popular, whatever. But it's like when they got popular, now everybody want to be outside. Everybody want to start selling drugs and all of that. Like that shit corny as hell. Like I went outside because I was hearing my mama keep breaking down on the phone at night because she was struggling to keep these lights on. When we had to have the candles, you know what I mean, to use to see at night. You know what I'm saying? When we had crates for a TV, we ain't had no TV stand. When we had an iron hanger on me as an antenna. So that's what I went on the streets, went out there on the block for. Now people going out there because, oh, I grew up with him or I'm doing this or you see that. Man, get out of here with that, man. That shit corny. Anybody could be out on the block now because you were related to somebody. I don't care who you related to. That don't mean it's in your heart. This shit ain't for everybody. And
Ah,
that's why you have so many snitches because everybody just embracing everybody. Now, I mean, that's the same thing like out in LA or in the Compton, whatever. You got far as the Damu side when you talking about they real ones, whatever. Turn around. Now, I mean, you got one of these fake ass rappers claiming Bloods, man. Man, I'm telling you, they come out to Jersey and back in my times, they would have got down straight like that. We don't play that shit, man. I even talk about it one time now. I mean, when the nigga said Joel Santana got knocked out when we was tripping.
so let me ask you this: the ethnic identity of Jersey became more of a gang culture than it is a conscious culture?
Yeah, it came from it was a gang culture from the rip because how we was taught and it was brought to us. Like, all right, we had the conception where it's though, all right, everybody out in LA, Compton, Watts, Inglewood, for you to be a blood, right? From our side, right? For you to be a real Damu of blood, you gotta not me respectfully CK. Like if you ain't doing that, you ain't no blood. So it's like even though I involve, I mentor, I speak to kids and all of that, but when we talking about being a blood, whatever, I don't matter. No matter how old I get, if you wasn't riding on your enemies, you ain't no blood to me, homie. Bottom line, I don't care where you from.
So, what do you say to kids this day and time? What do you get them? How do you hold their attention? Because they seem to be real short. They have a short attention span. So, what is it that you do that
Oh,
hold them?
I be honest with them. I be honest with them. You know what I mean? I show them, for example, I
What
may
does that
show them
look
the
like?
stroll. I show them this stroll right
Uh huh.
here. This is full of names. All these names right here died from gang banging, and they all Fruittown, Brick City Brim. I got over 36 names on my body, and that's a low number because we lost over 89 homies with the gang banging. So it's like I hit them with this. Why you want to be a blood when you got to worry about another blood killing you? How can you say you love that red flag when you quick to kill another person that have a red flag? I don't get that. I don't. That's that. I
Yeah.
don't come from that. Even though, regardless of what, when we talking about elevating and evolving, that's stupidity and ignorance. But when we talking about far as the politics and game banging aspect of the rules and regulations, because it's a new day. But I stick to the old rules and regulations though. But when we
Yeah.
talk,
Well,
when we talking about this, like that's ignorance and stupidity. You know, I understand the overstand like certain situations happen or whatever, but that never would have happened if greed, jealousy, and envy didn't take part in it.
but do you understand? See, there's an overstand and understand, but do you understand? Understand is
Yeah, of course I
when
do.
you actually look into your heart and see what's really there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because we got dudes that bang different hoods, but end up in the same cemetery together. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, how do we rationalize that at the end of the day? You know what I mean? And I know everybody's where they from and they claim what they claim, and I think, you know what I mean? And I can't say this enough. I think that both Crips and Bloods was created out of mercurial mindsets, something that happened all of a sudden and is unpredictable. And most of the guys in there have very severe mood swings, one way or the other, whether they're good or bad.
Yeah, you're right. First, people got to stop doing the peace treaty. They got to work on doing ceasefire because doing a peace treaty, that shit it never works.
Lakeisha is your cousin?
Who?
Lakeisha.
Yes.
Oh yeah, she in there. She rallying for you, boy. She
Yeah,
shout out to Lakeisha.
yeah, she knows she'll tell you like man talking like I told you, man, when we was talking, like I'm one of them ones, man. Like I've been around, like people. So when they come out, they start getting on these platforms and start talking, whatever, and I just be watching people and listening. And every time people ask people certain questions, the only thing they could talk about is jail. Like me personally, that jail shit don't count. It don't count unless you was doing what you was doing in the streets. Then you got locked up for your set. Once you got locked up for your set, now it counts. Now it perpetrates like what you do day to day, month to month, week to week, year to year, until you get out of prison. Whereas you stay solid and you stay 10 toes down. Other than that, like that shit don't count because people get the misconception on the East Coast, whereas though, oh, you got put on in jail, so you thinking that's game banging because whatever you did in jail. Nah, that shit don't go like that, homie.
So
Shit don't go
Gunna,
like that.
are you familiar with Squeak Rue from
Yeah,
Inglewood?
that's Blood name, Squeak Rue. That's his brother. Blood been
Okay.
out there. I don't know Blood, but Blood been out there.
Okay.
Blood no.
You
Jersey on a
know?
whole different type of time, homie. In a
Right,
real
right,
way.
right.
Like, we still do on sites.
Yeah, he definitely have told the story. I heard the story before told from him. You know what I mean?
Like,
So
not to cut you off, like in this book, there's a homie named Massacre. He double I Bloods. He mentioned it. 1993, Queen Street started in East Orange. It stayed in this chapter. Like I have reputables in this chapter, homie. Like in this book, because it's multiple people from different arenas like this sharing a story to redirect these little boys and girls, these young men and these young ladies. But yet at the same token, for you to redirect, you got to be honest with yourself to be honest with other people. If you can't be honest with yourself, then no matter who you are, you're not gonna grab these kids' ears or these teens' ears to get them to understand, to overstand, and understand, as you say, to see the bigger
right.
picture.
Yeah, you're right, Lakeisha. Family do suffer the most when individuals go to jail. Mostly our sisters that have to support the brothers and their boyfriends or their husbands or you know what I mean, cousins and different stuff. You know what I mean? Because you guys suffer a great deal because you the ones have to send the packages, take the phone calls, call the attorneys. You know what I mean? You and then handle everyday activity. I appreciate you bringing that up. But what also want to ask you though, Gunnar, what is the Hispanic population? What is their take on all this? Do they participate? You know, at the level you guys participate, or do they do something differently?
Well, the Latin Kings, you know, they Puerto Ricans. They big in Jersey. They directly connected to Chicago. The difference between even with the Latin Kings in New York and New Jersey, that is way different because the Latin Kings in New York, they migrated with the thing they doing and with the Bloods in New York with the 5-star, and you know, like a Blood and Crip ain't no 5 and 6. It's just the right and the left. We don't do stars.
Right.
So you know what I mean? So it's like the Latin Kings
That's
in
if you
Jersey.
that's if you got it properly, because a lot of cats they got it in a different kind of way, so they add all kind of stuff to it, and then it becomes something else, and they don't realize that they off count.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, all right, I'm gonna start from this. Jersey is a West Coast state regardless, because you know everything migrated from Compton, Inglewood, Watts, and the West and South Central and East and South Central LA and Jersey, right? So
That's culture conditioning. That's culture conditioning. They've been conditioned
yeah,
to
so like 95, 96, you had sex, money, murder, non-trade gangsters, and GKB started
wait a
migrating to
minute.
Jersey.
Wait a minute before you go into that 9 Trey gangsters. Is that Takashi 6ix9ine?
Man, I don't like hearing that nigga name, but yeah.
Yeah, I just want to clarify that because you know what I mean. I really don't understand, But go ahead, finish what you
Yeah,
were saying.
I'm gonna get to all of that. But like
Okay.
when I started migrating to Jersey, we started telling them like the blood, like I don't got have that have nothing to do with being a blood. Like the 5-point star, because you know 5-point star stands for People Nation. People Nation, that means you banging on the left. Folk Nation, meaning that you banging on the right. So, right, if they saying in New York, right, it was a racial thing, they was doing this, that, and the third, that's bull. I respect that. That's for the people. But again, if that's for the people and y'all going against them and they already claiming that, why would y'all fall under somebody that's oppressing you? So you started representing a nation. Bloods don't fall under nobody. That's just like saying us Don Moos out in from the culture that's out in LA. That's just like saying any blood set in LA in the state of California gonna fall under Crip. You see what I mean? That's the same shit, but it's not gonna happen because that means that people die for nothing. They got time for nothing, and that's disrespectful as hell. So you can't say right that y'all did it for this cause, but then you fall under their banner, and people don't even look at it like that. Because the 5-point start again started in Chicago. That's a Midwest culture. That don't got nothing to do with being a blood. I respect what those did. That was being oppressed. But when we talk about being a blood, there's no such thing as an acronym. And for people that don't know, an acronym means a meaning of being a blood. There's no such thing as a bloody love, old rod, depression, nah. Blood is blood. Blood was created because you Crips dominated us. For every 10 Crips, it was one blood. You know what I
So
mean? I
what
just
made
like,
so
huh?
what made it so attractive that I mean, did hip hop have anything to do with that? That made it because a lot of the hip hop stars because they claim blood or whatever. You know what I mean? I'm just wondering what made it so attractive or what made it feel so right
For
for you
Jersey,
guys.
like I said, like for Jersey, for us, we was doing it, and it was brought to us before anybody's favorite rapper existed. Because mind you, when it
Right.
was brought to us, then after you had PIP, OYG, Rev Rum, and Damu Riders and the Relative, because that's what we was listening to. We was listening to G Lin and them. That's what we
I
was
think
listening to.
Red
This is what we
Rum
was
is
riding
out the
to.
East, if I'm not mistaken. Isn't he from
They
out that
came
way?
after.
Is Red Rum from Jersey or New York?
Nah, Red Rum was born in New York, then he migrated to Jersey to Inglewood, California as a kid.
Okay.
But they came after with the seeds was already planted in Jersey. Because like I said again, you got Bloodstone Villains, you got Neighborhood Pyrus, you got Fruittown Pyrus, man, you got 6-6 Mob, you got Insane Mob, you got Eastside. Man, I could go on forever, man. This shit been planted in Jersey, and we ain't wake up one day and say we gonna claim this. Nah, everything was brought to Jersey. We ain't had to go nowhere. That's why nobody can't say nothing to us about nothing at the end of the day, respectfully, because we push a hard line, like real shit. Ain't nobody, you know what I mean? We pushed a hard line. I'm from the generation where we volunteered. Nobody ain't make me and tell me to doing nothing. If a motherfucker had to tell you to do something, man, you a buster. Straight like that. You mean this shit ain't for you.
Yeah, I
It
got
ain't from
people
no
saying
Philly blood, man. Blood
that
from New York, man.
that Tretch was the glue to the Jersey gangs.
Nah, he was the for Queen Street, not for Jersey, because like I said, Fruittown blood came on his own. He don't know blood. I can't speak for
So
everybody
let
else.
me ask
You know what I
you
mean?
this.
That's real shit.
Let me ask you this. In Cali, you getting the Pyru saying, I'm not a blood, I'm a Pyru. And the bloods will tell you that they bloods and they not Pyrus. Is that same thing? Is that occurring in Jersey and New York as well?
I don't know about New York, because you have to. I
Well,
want
speak
for
for
you and
Jersey.
everybody
Speak
else
for
to
Jersey.
understand and overstand. Now, listen, right? I'm from the era where, as though, if you was pushing a East Coast set from New York, we was going at you as you was a Crip too. Like, we was downing you, because that's force flagging. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's force flagging. I didn't deal with nobody that was, no, I mean, repping and riding the file. I didn't piece you. I didn't do none of that shit. Even when I was in the feds, even when I was in state prison, I didn't do none of that shit.
So
When
a
I
lot
got
of
to the,
people in the chat is saying that Monster Cody book influenced a lot of those 9 tray and 8 trays and
yeah,
stuff
that's what
like
that
that.
yeah, that's where that came from. But again, that's New York. I'm from Jersey. So what a person saying in a line, that shit irrelevant to me. I'm talking
Yeah,
about Jersey history. That shit ain't. I'm
man,
not from New York, homie.
I see you passionate about Jersey. I
Hell
see
yeah,
it.
I'm passionate
Yeah.
about Jersey, because, man, people got the misconception, like, man, we really
Right,
dying to gain
right.
time behind
And
this
you
shit.
come to correct the record, right?
Like, man, like, we dying to gain time behind. We getting time behind this shit. It ain't got nothing to do with no drugs or nothing. And that's what people got. People got to realize, understand, man. Gang banging is about recognition and never forgetting the dead, homie. It's about that person that's standing right next to you. Shit ain't about no selling no drugs, making money, none of that shit. It's about how many funerals you could create. Straight like that, man. All that, man, with motherfucker.
So that's a whole lot of, man. That's a whole lot of nothingness, man. How do we get better than that? How do we heal from that? You know what I mean? Because that's a disease, bro. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Me, how like, I had to unlearn and relearn. Unlearn the bullshit and the stupidity. It's like this to me, right?
What were some of the things you read to help you unlearn, or some of the things you helped you to learn? What did you read?
The first book was pushed to me was What They Never Told You in History Class.
Uh-huh. That's a great book.
No, because it teaches you that George Washington wasn't the first president. The Statue
No,
of
it wasn't. He
Liberty,
wasn't.
you know,
Right.
the Statue of Liberty. It's not actually the Statue of Liberty. So when I start seeing these things and other things like the seal, how Clinton tried to represent, like, how he was the glue to the seal in the back of the dollar bill, was the first president. But when they came up with the Constitution, they knocked out John Hanson. Because for those that don't know, John Hanson is the first president. George Washington is the first president under the Constitution. They created the Constitution to knock out, which is a Moor, John Hanson.
and John Hanson is respectfully had Negro blood.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why they don't mention him. They want to eradicate that part
Yeah.
from
You know what's so
the
sad?
history.
You know what's so sad? They
Uh-huh.
gotta have a statue. They have a statue from his upper body to his head in the White House. It's right
Wow.
there in front of people's face, but we now being taught this in schools and nothing. Me personally, parents as a whole need to start educating themselves, unlearn and relearn, and educate their kids. Because you can't depend on the school system because all they doing is buying the same books, generation after generation after generation. Because you don't have to be in prison to be in prison.
Well,
People,
look how gullible our people is. Gunna. Our people actually believe that they get their riches and wealth in heaven. When
yeah,
white people actually purposely put that in the Bible, so black people, and then told black people that go ahead and pray about it and turn a blind eye and a cheek and all that stuff, because you'll get yours in heaven while they're getting theirs here, right in front of your eyes. But yet,
yeah,
for some reason, our people don't understand that that's all buffoonery. That's hoodwink.
yeah. Then I used to walk the yard when I was in the feds because I did state and federal time. So the U.S. Marshals came and snatched me from Northern State Prison, which is in Newark, New Jersey, in 2008. So when I had got sent to Otisville, all the way in the mountains, um,
Otisville is up by Buffalo, isn't it?
yeah, something like that, I guess. And
Yeah.
I started walking the yard all the time. Well, our bar pray. Our bar pray, quote unquote, put him in the biggest drug lord state of New Jersey. And
Mhm.
and you had Sandata, if I'm pronouncing his name right, he helped Asada Shakur escape the highway on Trenton. And I used to he's a Black Panther, and I used to always spin the yard. And they were shocked. I came to them one time because I went to this business and management class in the feds, and there was no right or wrong answer. So every time you had to have an honest answer because it's like it's telling you what you want, like what you wanted to do in life. So like I was the type of person I was getting to the point where I was tired of being tired. I was tired of losing homies. I was tired of losing homies to the prison system. I was tired of losing homies to the grave site. So it's like, what can I offer my daughters? Because at the time I just had 3 daughters, my queens, right? And what can I offer them besides a reputation? Because that reputation and all that extra shit, that shit ain't giving them no retirement funds, ain't giving them 401k, it's not helping them health insurance, life insurance, none of that dumb shit. You know what I mean? I mean, great shit. You know what I mean? The stupidity and ignorance, that shit don't last. So when I went and I took that class, that's when I started finding out what I wanted to do was to give back and do things with the youth. So I started hugging my dorm cell and just started writing out my plans. So everything I'm doing, like with the youth, and I go here and here, like when I went out to when I was invited by OG Trebo from Captain of the Parks. When I went out there in August of this past, when I went it was a book bag drive and a event for the community. That's what I went out there for. Like all of this was planned when I was in the feds. Mind you, I've been home this past January 5th, 8 years. Everything
Good.
I'm doing now, like with my website and going and speaking to engagement events and how I got a stand ovation on stand ovation I taught a criminal justice class because the prosecutors and the detectives they teaching our future lawyers, judges, prosecutors, police force and all of that Bloods and Crips and anybody that's in the streets, we teaching these kids how us as men, right, Black men, we teaching them how to rape little girls and tell these little boys not to go to school. And I'm saying that's a lie because I went to school. I went to night school. Nobody ain't
That's how.
telling me.
That's how. That's why the police departments are overfunded, because they tell
Yeah,
these such stories, and they demonize and criminalize everything that black people do. But I'm gonna say this again, and I can't say it enough, that America they glorify John Dillinger, Machine Gun Kelly, Ma
Mm-hmm.
Barker, Al Capone, Elliot Ness, Frank Nitti, Lucky Luciano, and the Gambinos. All they glorify that. But when it comes to the culture that which you come from, is automatically demonized and automatically set aside as something that is just very, very, very disrespectful. And it can be, but what I'm saying though, how is one different from the other?
It ain't no different. It just
No, it's
that
not.
privilege.
Except the skin
Just the
color.
privilege. Mm-hmm.
The skin color is
Yeah,
different.
yeah. Divide and conquer, and us as a whole, as a people, we always feed into that because our own people be the first one to say this, that, and the third about us that's out here gang banging us in the streets or who out there now. But them same ones, our own people, so when they get in a situation, who the first people they call? The same ones they all pointing the finger. But so when they get in there, you're not willing to help them support while they in there. It's a lot of people I didn't left in there that don't have no family, but they locked up for them same family members that called them about a situation, but they living their best life, and that's fucked up.
Yeah, and not caring.
Exactly. But they will post a picture because they see somebody. That's why I don't repost people that I write, man, because wholeheartedly, and I say that I say this wholeheartedly, like I'm probably one of the main people out here that send pictures constantly. I print up over 400 pictures for people that's in the state and affairs since I've been home, and I've been home 8 years now. Wholeheartedly, that's what I do. Calls and all of that shit. That shit don't take but a few minutes, man. People be writing up fucking stupid ass paragraphs and talking about their life and boo loving and all that shit. But soon when they see somebody, they wanna take up somebody picture and talk about free the homie or free that. Man, get the fuck out of here with that fake shit. They can't see that shit. If you really sincere, you really care about that motherfucker, write them a paragraph. You writing a stupid ass whole letter on social media, motherfucker don't give a fuck about you, just laughing about your dumb ass. Like we in a time, man, where people look for validation. All this shit is bullshit. I hate social media. If I wasn't, I'm an author now, right? But prior to this, if I wasn't doing what I was doing with these kids, I wouldn't have had social media because it's beyond watered down, beyond faith. Every day, every time.
So let me ask you this though, Gunna. When you see the people like Whack 100, Takachi 69, and I'm just naming them because they seem to always have something to say, or you see these individuals going back and forth, you know what I mean, on Clubhouse and other social medias in a way that's demeaning and derogatory towards our culture, and they don't help contribute to it in a way that is uplifting and other words, they don't seem to be interested. The charlatan whites, you know what I mean? And I'm just naming them because they're most notable in this sphere. Uh, what should we do about those individuals? How should we treat them any differently because this is what they do, or this seems how somehow with how they make money off the backs of demeaning black folk?
You know, me personally, each one of them is actually intelligent. You want to know why they're intelligent?
There they are.
Because you know why? You know why. But just for people that's listening, they
Okay.
intelligent because it's part of their plan.
Yes.
The more they say and do certain things, the more recognition and the more people do this about them.
Right.
Now, if a person, right, if people saying so much about them, then why is everybody paying attention to them? Because the more
Right.
you pay attention, the more you make them irrelevant. So again, like I'm not making nobody irrelevant. If you're not irrelevant, I'm not even talking about you with them because that's me like I'm gossiping. That's what women do. You know how many times like people hit me about this person, this person. The first time I asked, like you asked him, you said it to him. I don't tell me. It's to the point I don't even talk to nobody because it's like I'm I'm on something greater and better in life. You know, we having a conversation about far as like the game coach or whatever. So when people see, I might get agitated in the face or whatever. But make no mistakes, I don't conversate with nobody, and I mean nobody. If you're not doing what I'm doing, or if you're not wearing, if you're not elevating in life, if you're not elevating in life, if you ain't trying to put your family, your or leave something or build a foundation for your kids or whatnot, whatever, we don't have nothing to discuss. Nothing.
Yeah, stick to that too, bro. Stick to that, man.
You know what I'm
You
saying?
know.
Because I'm beyond the ignorance and stupidity and all of that. I didn't did all of that. I don't got nothing to prove, man. Anybody can say what they say about me, whatever. The point is that you say it to me. No,
Right.
you know what I'm
So
saying? Like
when you giving these stories to the kids, what are some of the feedback you get from the kids?
I be having I have kids and shed tears, especially like mothers like I help a 12-year-old kid stop from hanging himself because
Hmm.
he wanted to get put on to a blood set in New York from Brooklyn actually, and you had some teenagers between the ages of 15 and 17. They went to a brownstone building and they told him to take off his clothes. When he took off his clothes, 12 boy adolescent don't know no better, and they started shooting at his feet. When they started shooting at his feet, they recorded it. And when they recorded it, they blasted all over Facebook and Instagram. He was so embarrassed, he went in a room and he had a necktie and climbing on a chair. The reason how me and another person named Jason Davis from Harlem, because he's the one that told me about it and all of that. When we talked to the mother and whatnot. And she something, I mean, the Lord touched her soul because something told her to walk in his room, her son's room, and she's seeing her son about to hang himself. That was like that was March 1st of 2020. Like that was one of my greatest moments. It's actually my second time actually really talking about it. You
So
know,
in order to reach somebody, you could talk them down off the ledge, but how do you continue to talk them down through life? Because there's got to be a certain amount of therapy instrumented. There got to be a certain amount of the right type of people to
mm-hmm.
get to this youngster to help change, to turn the ship in, and right the ship, so to speak.
Yeah. For me, like that's why I had did this book, volume one, because it teach those about peace treaty, ceasefire, which PIP OYG Red Rum he a part of because he flew to New York and he contacted me. I'm the one that
Rest in
flew
peace,
the
Red Rum. Rest in peace, the Red Rum.
yeah, that was my gangster because I want the world I wanted to show the world, I mean he was more than just a rapper, you know,
Uh
because
huh.
and part of the documentary he was shooting, right? He documented this for like close to 4 hours. And this was actually the first time I actually had to sit down for Bloods in New York. Because even though I met plenty, when I was in the feds, whatever, like I said before, during that time I was on ignorance and stupidity, still in
Thank
my
you,
hot
Lewis.
head, and I had that was my first time I actually sat down with an open mind. Because one thing, even though I'm saying what I'm saying, one thing New York and Jersey have in common was both was misled and lied to in a lot of ways. And I'm talking far as like me being a West Side brim.
Yeah, it's manipulation. They
You
want
know
to
what I'm
manipulate
saying?
you into doing the
Because
dirty work.
because
They
like I said before,
often
like
these guys. Let me say this, and I'll let you go. Often these guys use you as a sounding board because they'll verbalize to you what they want, hoping that you carry out the action. You know what I mean? Because they're cowards. They don't want to put their hand in it like that, but they can find somebody they can manipulate and get them to carry it out, and then they sit back and grin about it or whatever, smile about it later. But
mhm.
it just, I don't know, man. It just, we got to get on code, man. We got to get on code, whether we in New York, Jersey, California, Illinois, Texas, Tennessee, just wherever we may be, man, as a melanation. You know what I mean? Shout out to United Streets of America. We got a clubhouse on there. Myself, Bright Dog, Gangster, and Young Bop. You know what I mean? And we're going in, man, and we're gonna try to, change the narrative from where we at here on the West Coast. And
Yeah.
anybody you want to tune in, you can tune in tomorrow at 6 o'clock. So we're gonna be dealing with rappers because I'm a firm believer in the rappers need to they need to be socialized because you're giving these kids these enormous, whether it's Empire, Universal, Sony, Warner Brothers, whatever, Interscope, whatever. They're giving these kids these big old major contacts, major deals. You know what I mean? And they can take you. Say for instance, they can take you right now. You might have, and I'm just saying hypothetically. Just say you got 400 followers. You'll wake up tomorrow and have 2 million based on their machine to move you, based on what they need you for. They put insurance policies on you. They do everything they need to protect themselves because a lot of people don't know that the insurance companies, because the banks don't run nothing. These companies don't run it. It's the insurance companies that run everything because when you go in the bank and if you lose your money, what does it say? FBI insured, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if they're insuring the banks, who's running who? You understand?
You know
So
what
a lot of
with me, like, I can't stand these rappers that's claiming these games. They claiming it because they ain't. That's all they doing. They ain't not in the field or whatever. They showing a flag on a brand new flag. So when they get off the stage, the cameras down, they go about their day and their business. Me personally is this, man. Everybody, I don't give a fuck. East Coast, West Coast, down south, man, West. These rappers claiming these sets, man. If they not putting no, if they not paying for funerals, they not helping homies get lawyers. They not helping bailing homies out. They not
yeah,
helping homegirls.
they don't have
You know what I'm
no
saying? Listen,
business.
right? They're not helping homegirls. You know that lost the kids' fathers to this gang violence, some kind of form of fashion, like helping them keep their lights on and shit like that. Then they shouldn't be allowed to say nothing about no blood and crip. Period. Bottom line. Like that's what motherfuckers got it fucked up at. I don't give a fuck a motherfucker co-founded nothing. Ain't nobody bigger than the rules, blood. Like on some real shit, man. Motherfuckers keep claiming our shit. These niggas ain't doing nothing. I don't give ain't no matter like if you cool with this nigga, he feeding you. We talking about a whole set. I respect the root. The tree, fuck a tree and a branch. If you don't respect the root, that's the foundation right there. I want
So
everybody to know that shit.
how do they keep getting away with that though, Gunna? They keep getting away with it because they come in whether Soldier Boy,
They only get
Little
away
Wayne.
with it because they know who to be around and who not to be around. Because like I said before I went away, anybody that was coming out here in Jersey saying they was blood, they was getting popped automatically. Even the homies even blood that was riding a 5 out here, they'll tell you, man, like you coming out here and you saying you blood, you getting popped from the rip. We not hearing none of that shit. We don't care about none of that. Ask motherfuckers that be from LA that come out here, they'll tell you. Like when I first met Barefoot Pookie, right? I had a nice conversation with Barefoot Pookie and his wife. And then when I said I'm from Jersey, his first reaction was, man, LA is Jersey is LA's second home. He know blood come out there all the time.
Right.
They all know. That's what I'm saying. Like Jersey and New York is totally two different worlds. The only thing is that when it comes to, you know what I mean, Fruittown, Brim, and the state of New York, they have that same being misled. The only and another difference is that they still pushing a person that bent the rules. Soon we heard what old boy was doing and did to us, he got eliminated. Like he don't be mentioning none of that out here in Jersey. You know what I mean? Like a lot of homies, honestly. Huh?
What about Jim Jones?
What about him?
What about him? Do you guys
No,
did he get eliminated out the equation, or is he still spoke upon? You know what I mean? Because he
he
was
was
like,
he was never he was never spoke upon. This is what I'm trying to get you to. That's why people don't understand, man. Like nobody gets spoken about in Jersey. Jersey is Jersey. The only thing we
okay,
respect is LA. That's it.
okay,
That's
got you,
it.
got you.
Anybody else, make the motherfuckers don't count.
Okay, got you,
Squeak Room will tell you, like, man, like, we don't do that. We don't, we don't do
got you.
that. Even motherfuckers like out here. Like we stopped them from saying non-trade. They don't say non-trade in Jersey. They say tech gang. Because you know everything dealing with trades is the rips, it's the keyways. So they don't say that. That's just like we they don't say GKB because it's like how you got a K in front of a B if you saying you're a blood, you're a Damu. So that means you kill bloods. So they say G Sean. I just like sex, money, murder. When I was in the feds, I'm telling them like sex, money, murder. That's a Crip set out in Long Beach.
Uh-huh.
That's even in his book. That's what I'm saying in his book. I just like if people want to know, you know, they read his title. The person that actually snitched on the whole state, his name is written in here by somebody by another reputable that's Fruitown Brim from Jersey, Big L Brim. He talks about it, but in my book, part of my life story, the reputable, which is being a process and being on Barnes and Noble Global and all stores, and after we do this, you know what I mean, volume 1 and volume 2 is going to be getting pushed to Barnes and Nobles. I'm not playing. This is a series
Right,
I'm
right,
doing.
right. Hey,
My
you know what
series, like,
though, brother? No, not to cut you off again, but I
mm,
apologize for that. I actually was in contact with some people out of Boston, Jersey, New York, and they was talking good, like they wanted me to actually come out there and do some speaking, uh, do speaking engagements, and
mm,
try to make sense of this whole thing. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Because what I mean, I understand, but at the same time, we're all going about it wrong, as far as trying to bridge the gaps. You know what I mean? Because we got too
yeah,
many. That's been a lot of loss of life, and we can never regain that, get that back. But at the same time, man, we got to do something better than what we're doing,
yeah.
regardless, as people.
That's why I came out with this book, you know, because the women that's a part of this book, for one, they all older than me. For two, we got Lady Country. Lady Country got a story in there. Um,
Okay, cool.
Homegirl from Nadu's Bishop Bloods, you know what I mean? Big Bubbles from on the Dubs, neighborhood 20 Bloods.
Uh
You know
huh.
what I mean? She talks about how she get young ladies off the streets from prostituting. I have pictures, like all my books have pictures, whereas they were showing people like it showed pictures where I'm at the speaking event. It showed people's behind the scene how me, Red Rum, PIP, and a few others, Jason Davis, the people from New York, we took pictures together. How I'm shaking hands with a Harlem 30 Crip, and you know that's my main rival, you know, whereas though it's showing growth. You see what I'm saying? Like I'm showing like I'm changing the narrative, whereas though I have a picture of me and Barefoot Pookie, whereas though we showing shaking hands, whereas though I also show a picture of original West Side Pyro Broham that I met, had the honor to meet and talking with for a minute out in Capanillas, whereas though I showing how he changed his life around from gang banging to now he a minister. Everything I'm showing kids and teenagers that they don't actually see, because when you see grown men that's in these gangs on YouTube, all they doing is bigging and battering. You keep misleading and continuing to BS. You see what I'm saying? So you know, like people only going to be receptive to change if they hold accountability. There's not enough grown men holding accountability. Until grown men and grown women hold accountability, you're going to continue to have the ignorance and stupidity, and that's the reality. I hold accountability. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. Nobody, I haven't been paid yet, Melly man. Nowhere. Like when we got in contact when I was in LA for them 3 months, I came out of my own pocket. I came out there whereas though it could have been a business proposal, but every time I turn around, it's our own people um with the BS. That's why I'm
Right.
over it. You know what I'm saying? Like with the
Right.
BS, because I'm passionate about what I do. You know, I
Right.
didn't did things in Raleigh, North Carolina. In New York, I go a few times from time to time. I speak at colleges, I speak at high schools, I speak at schools. You know, but no one man can do it by themselves. It's
No, it
impossible.
can't. No, you're right.
You know, I didn't stop third, fourth, and fifth graders becoming Bloods and Crips, where there was two classes merged together, and most of them was Bloods and Crips. And this in Jersey. Most of them was Bloods and Crips. I'm talking about third, fourth, and fifth graders.
Right.
You know, so like, man,
So
I
when your other two books are due out?
well, the other two books, everything is in Amazon. I'm talking about far as Barnes and Nobles, because you know Barnes and Nobles, that's a whole nother level because you're not just doing it online now. Now you having your books in the stores.
Right.
You
So
know,
if they
so
want to get your books, so tell them how to get your books.
um, you know, Invisible Tears is spelled ENVISABLETIERS, Volume 1. You know, Tears You Can't See, Only from the Mind and Heart. Is it's over 23 chapters, and each chapter is a different individual from the East Coast and the West Coast, whereas though I bridge the gap to make it different for these kids to show them that, you know what I mean, the street life and the gangs at the end of the day is bullshit. Because in
Uh-huh.
reality is we're killing ourselves, we're killing our own people, and most importantly, you got to worry about the people from your own set putting that nail in your coffin, and that's the reality. Anybody saying different, they lying. You know,
Say that part again. Say that part again.
at the end of the day, man, the person you gotta watch, look over your shoulder is your own homie. That's the person that's going to put a nail in your coffin. Anybody say any different, you're lying. And I tell you in your face. You know what I'm saying? I've been home 8 years. 8 years. And 9 out of 10, a person that was killed is by their own homie. Or a person that was in the picture with him. So everybody claiming they loyal, you're lying. Straight like that. You know what I'm saying? And love thy neighbor. You know, you spell love LOVE, but then die THY, neighbor NAYBAR. That's volume 2, and that's a brother's love. ABROTHAZ. Love. No, I mean, did I say that? A brother's love, yes. And volume 3 is the reputable. DA dash capital REP UT, because you gotta separate the reputable. Because I did that for you know what I mean, because when you talk about the reputable, man, that's a whole different ball game, man. Because I want people to know, people that's listening, man, anybody can be an OG, man. Anybody. Not every OG is
Explain.
a reputable though.
Explain.
You know, a reputable, they willing to they willing to do what most was not willing to do. They pressing the line any given second. They sacrificing their life and freedom. They doing it from here. They not being told what to do. They 10 toes down whatever they do, right or wrong. They not never folding. They don't need no crowd because they is the crowd. You know what I mean? A reputable. I'm a reputable in a real way. Nobody can say different. I'm an original. I don't never come out my mouth and
Right.
say I'm an OG. How I'm gonna say I'm an OG and I'm only 39 going on 40? That shit ignorant. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, man, this a new day, but I respect the old rules and regulations, man. It this out my
Somebody
way,
said
I'm
OG.
first generation.
Somebody said OG mean old guy nowadays.
Man,
I guess everybody
but
got
you
their
know,
own opinion, right?
like the reputable DA, capital D, small A, capital R, EP, dash. You know what I mean? Then it's like, you know what I mean, you separate it, then it's a U, T, E, then you separate it again, then it's ABLE. Volume 3, Tears Still Invisible, you know, TIERS. know what I mean? Still
What
Still.
which one of your books would you like to see as a curriculum?
What
If
first
not
like
all three.
huh?
Which one of your books, if not all three, would you like to see a curriculum taught to young black kids?
Actually, it's all three. And why I say that because all three is nonfiction and it's reality and and it's all preventing kids, teenagers, even even adults or helping people to overcome the stereotype scenario and the stigma with this cancer we dealing with. Because I say
Are
like
you able
again, like
are you able to put the your books in the description down in the box? Are you able to do that?
far as yours.
Yeah, down in the chat. There's the three buttons down there. You can actually put a comment in the chat like the rest of the people are doing. You see that?
Well, on yeah, I see the comment on my right side. It said chat with the host or other guests.
Yeah,
Well, for me
you
anyway.
can actually put your books in there if you like. I mean, if
Yeah,
not, we
yeah,
can come.
yes, I do that, and people can follow me Brimalone at Brimalone Brimstrong BrimStrong. Because on the cover, uh, volume 3, I'm actually on the turf. You know what I mean? Because again, I did that because again, like on the East Coast, one thing I don't like about the East Coast as a whole is that the West Coast and other coasts, like people on the outside looking in, look at East Coast, they laugh at us. And why? Because, and I understand and overstand, and it gets me tight a lot of times because people on the East Coast be dick riding to LA. And I mean that shit wholeheartedly. They really do. Because instead of going to different parts of LA to understand the culture, you know what I mean, to get the information and go back and lace these lost, misguided souls. All they want to do is go live, take a picture, and prove who they met. You know what I mean? Spend the weekend, pop bottles, that ignorant,
They
stupid
like
shit.
acting
Like,
like
you know what I mean? Like,
celebrities.
and I want people to really really listen to what I'm about to say. When I found out that we was not because it's not because he told, because again, people been telling us since the beginning of the time. It's not that he told, it's the fuck he lied. He lied about everything. Know what I mean? We fucking our life up behind this shit, homie. Know what I'm saying? So it's like when I'm in the feds and find that shit out, my whole mentality was like, yo, when I get the fuck home and I get off parole, I'm gonna take a flight and I'm gonna find out the truth. You wanna know why? Because these names, these tombstones on my body, on my chest, they didn't die for nothing. Because if I don't find out the truth, and you have people don't get it twisted, went out there and find the truth, but they ain't, but they not
Yeah, because
informing people, huh?
no, I was gonna say you definitely came out here because you contacted me. We didn't get a chance to link up, but here we are now. But you definitely were there because you called me. And
Oh yeah. No, but I'm just saying is that I want the people to understand and know is that like we was misguided to the point where as though that shit was ridiculous. You know what I mean? So it's like if somebody don't go out there and find out the truth, then it's like they die for nothing. Because everything that we thought we represent to a high, that wasn't what it was. So you can't say you this, that, and the third and don't have an understanding what you represent, because that means you a follower, you a wannabe. You see what I'm saying?
mm-hmm.
That's what people gotta understand. Because everybody follows somebody. But it's a
Somebody
difference.
asked,
You
"Where's
gotta know
Paulie
who you
D
follow.
and Snoopy?" Oh
Huh?
wow! Somebody being
Who?
clown in there. I just now realized they was being clown. Don't worry
Man,
about it.
I don't. Me personally, I don't even pay attention because I don't know them and they don't matter. Like I'm talking to you, you know what I'm saying? But again, like,
Right, right, right,
uh,
right.
but again, like I was saying, like I felt I needed to do that because it's a lot of homies on my body names I didn't never met, but it's the respect level that they die for this shit. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like it's my duty. That's everybody in the me personally, anybody
Let me
that's
tell your cousin something right quick.
representing the hood. Hmm?
Tanisha, do me a favor and type the names of his books in the chat.
Oh,
If you could do that.
that's my relative. I'm gonna do in a second. I'm just talking.
Okay.
But like I was saying, like um, it was my duty to find out. But again, I say that in my book. If I would have focused more on myself and elevating in life, I would have been in a way better position. I would have been doing what I'm doing now down the line. But again, it was like I didn't do 11 years for nothing. I didn't beat two hot ones for nothing. I didn't get kicked out of Jersey for nothing. I didn't watch my daughters grow up from newborns, you know what I mean, and watching their first steps behind a glass window for nothing. My homies ain't die for nothing. This homie ain't get life plus 60 for nothing. This homie didn't get 170 years for nothing. This homie ain't get 30 with a 30 for years for nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, so many homies got fucking life behind this shit in Jersey. So it's like, if I don't go out there and find out, it's for nothing. So when I went out there, right? When I first went out there, this would separate me from everybody else. I'm gonna lay it down like this. When I first touched my turf, the homies was like, yo, we've been waiting for you because we know you a reputable, you from Jersey. They started asking me about people from New York, from Philly, and all these other people. I said, yo, blood, I ain't come out here for that. I don't know these people. They don't matter to me, you know what I'm saying? Because for me, if I can't say it to your face, I ain't gonna say it at all. But what I can say is that they wasn't around. How they wasn't around? Because Jersey ain't allowed nobody to push brim outside of Jersey that was a West Coast blood set. Bottom line. There was we ain't allowed no Harvard Park brims. We ain't allowed no Van Ness Gates brims. We ain't allowed none of that shit. Everybody that's pushing a West Coast brim set from San Diego to Harvard Park to Van Ness, you know what I mean? They did that shit in 2010, 2011. That's when you a millennium blood, homie. Niggas was like 2 or 3 different sets prior to becoming a West Coast brim set. So how can you sit here and tell me that you love, you know what I mean, this brim gang that I've been sacrificed my life and freedom most of my majority of my life when you've been 2 or 3 sets prior? You're not loyal. You're not even loyal to yourself. So
Uh-huh.
again, right? When we go, I go to and I talk about this in my book. When I go to one of my G homie houses, about 5 or 6 other OGs there. Then after they see that I got the dead homies on me, I got my set tatted on me and all of that, right? And they
Uh-huh.
fucked up. They're like, damn, blood got this shit, blood got this shit tatted on him and all of that. I said, man, this shit ain't nothing, man. Everybody from Jersey, man, 8 out of 10 got they sets on them, man. We hold this shit up with pride in a real way. So like, this is what they say. Hey yo, you can start this. You can start this shit in Jersey. You can start this shit in Virginia. You can start this shit in North Carolina. Blood, respectfully, you can't give me something, homie. I'm already me. I ain't come out here for my own set or to say I'm an OG or do this and the third. That's hustling backwards. I already did time behind this shit. I ain't no young kid. You understand what I'm saying? That's hustling backwards. I'm beyond that. I came out here to find the truth so I could go back and tell the homies and the homegirls. That's what I care about. I don't care about having my own set. I'm a grown ass man. That's a little boy mentality. You got grown men with boy hearts because you wearing about a set. Ask me anybody that's claiming they got their own set. Ask me what they have. They got real estate. They got property. They got their own businesses. They giving homies
That's
and homegirls.
a
Listen,
harsh
listen, man.
reality they don't want to deal with, young brother.
Exactly. You giving homies and homegirls they own. They got salaries. So get the fuck out of my face about some. Oh, I got my own set. Man, you being distorted, blood. Because nobody can tell me you not being distorted if that shit wasn't brought to you. And now you got social media, so now it's easy for motherfuckers to get linked up and all of that. I don't meet nobody off no fucking internet. If it ain't about like networking and we could do something, establish and redirect these kids or somewhat, whatever, I'm not meeting you. You crazy. I don't know you. You could be the feds for all I know. You could have a wire on you. People so thirsty for validation and people to fuck with them. That shit is past ridiculous, man. I'm young, but I got an old soul, homie. I was raised different.
Right.
My OGs are neutrals, man. Respectable, reputable OGs, but they was neutrals, man. Like the men I was around, everybody not allowed to be around them. They just wasn't. I started going OT when I was 13, man. Then started going by myself after that, man. I say a lot, man. Like, motherfuckers crazy out here, man.
Yeah, well, for those who was talking about the African thing, I'm indigenous to the land that I'm standing on. I don't know about what nobody else. That's just what I believe. That most of our people were already here. Our history is so distorted and has been so tainted and ripped apart that we really don't know. You know what I mean? They got us believing certain things for certain reasons, but we were here, bro. We was here long before they got here. Long before they got here.
Cause it's like this, right? You have people from all over always be saying or disrespecting the West Coast. Most importantly, LA gangs, state of California. That's like, how can you say fuck LA gangs, but you claiming they shit? So you indirectly saying fuck you, dummy. Like that don't make no sense. You can have a disagreement on or dislike somebody, but how you can dislike somebody you don't even know them? But again, people keep doing this fake mediation shit or meeting people over social media, whereas though it's easy for a person to disrespect a motherfucker, but I guarantee they won't do that shit in front of you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Is there anybody? Let me ask this: anybody in the chat room want to ask Gunner a specific question? Now is the time to do it. Anybody in the chat room would like to ask Gunner specific questions? So now is the time to do it. Let's see. Word. Yeah. Yeah, I noticed a lot of people. You guys be sure. You guys be sure to subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the Professor Melly Mail, the Hood Postman. I appreciate it. You know what I mean? Because I saw a lot of new people in the chat this evening, and I appreciate you guys. And I know you guys surely came in here by the way of Gunner, and I appreciate him coming on the platform and sharing his story. I'm really impressed with him as an individual. I'm proud that he was able to find his way through the fog and come out shining, you know what I mean? Because he's been through a lot. I can tell just by how passionate he's speaking, you know what I mean? He has a righteous indignation. In other words, he has a right to speak the way he's speaking and talk the way he's talking because he's been through some things. So, so let's see. I think Ball Gang wants to come in here. So I just dropped a link in the chat. I think Ball Game is actually from 59 Brim in San Diego.
Okay.
Yeah, so see if he chop in, see what he does. Brick City, Newark. Yeah, there's a lot of people in here, man. So I appreciate all you guys coming in, once again. All your people, man. Newark. There you go. Ball game. Welcome to the chat ball game.
Hey, what up? What up? What up? What up? What up, man?
You got all the devices on.
That part. Hold on. Let me turn it off.
Welcome to the chat ball. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, man.
Okay,
Let me see what. All right, y'all.
Okay.
Can y'all hear me?
Sure, we can.
All right. What's up, Gunna? How you doing, young brother?
How you doing?
Oh man, I'm doing well. Thank you, man. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to come in for a little bit. I listened to the whole podcast, and I've been listening to your passion, man. And I see that you passionate about what you're talking about. Like Melly said, I'm from the 5'9" Brim, set out in San Diego, the first original blood set in San Diego. Been doing this shit since 1975. You know, and my thing is, I'm listening to you, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna support your thing too, because I want to read a couple of your books.
Sure. Appreciate it.
Yeah, without a doubt, you got that coming. But my thing is, I want to chime back off what Melly was talking about. You know, when I think about how the West Coast has influenced the rest of this country, man, me myself, I feel some type of way about it, because I feel that we influence the rest of the country in a very in a way that it really just wasn't conducive for our people, man. You know, all those names on your arm on that scroll. I have a lot of names as well. You dig what I'm saying? I never got tatted on my body. I didn't have to, because my brothers and our reputations exceeded themselves, you know, from San Diego all the way up to LA. And I just never tatted myself with any gang graffiti. But I have a photo album of a whole bunch of brothers, man, you know, that lost their lives to this bullshit that we call gang banging. You know, so my thing now is, you know, from what I've seen with you, young brother, is that you have a passion, you have a tenacity. You understand what I'm saying? And when you have a passion and a tenacity, you got people like myself that can respect that. People like myself that will support that. You got people like myself who are in the trenches trying to stop this bullshit. You dig what I'm saying? And you have a strong voice, my brother. And I just feel, you know, you were saying earlier that, you know, can't nobody tell me what to do. I'm not a buster. You know, we handle our business this way, but I'm gonna put this on your heart, man. You dig what I'm saying? You have an obligation now to use the platform that you have to start pushing the line on some of your homeboys and on some of the young brothers coming up in your neighborhoods to shoo them away from this bullshit.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I've been doing that, honestly, truthfully, since I've been out of prison. But at the same token, like it's to the point where as though if you keep pushing that and you the only one that's pushing that, you gotta save yourself, or else you're gonna lose yourself, and that's gonna make you go back in there when you trying to redirect and change the narrative.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? So it's like it's to the point where as though I done stepped away from that totally, and I hooked up with a brother from Harlem, New York. He's a blood step from New York. And see, that's another thing, even though I'm saying about the differences between New York and Jersey, you know what I mean? A person that I'm helping, you know what I mean, that I started doing this gang prevention, intervention, and all of that. I started with somebody from New York. That because my own city, they so stuck on my past of what I was doing before, prior to me in the prison, whatever. They keep closing the doors and this, that, and the third. Or now, like BIP T. Rogers, when he had reached out to me because like we was planning on going from state to state, city to city, and go to schools, different schools, and speak at them, because you know he had that type of platform, but he loved what I was doing so much, he wanted to be a part of what I was doing. Because you know I have a thing called Invisible Tears LLC. So you know I want to my plan is to get my own building and have like a first floor just to have different sessions for the youth and the young teens, little girls, for the young ladies and the young men.
What age would you start from, bro?
What age would I start from?
What age group would you?
8.
8 until what?
8 into 23, 21, 23.
Okay. That's a good range.
Yeah. And
actually, I just dropped your books in the chat, so anybody looking to purchase the books, there, I just dropped the link.
I appreciate it, and
you're
welcome. Like the rest of the building, I would like to have for the less unfortunate, like help feed, clothing, and shelter them, because like I wanted to have it in multiple states and cities. Because it's like, for example, right? California got the number one. Y'all number one in homeless. When you got all them multi-million-dollar billionaires out there living, that shit is ridiculous. Everybody keep claiming they real, but nobody ain't really giving back. I'm not talking about some holiday. That's a tax write-off. I know about all of that. They only doing that because we have the fourth quarter. So the fourth quarter, when you start going into September, going into October, now by you giving out money, now when you file your income taxes, you get plus interest. That's why it's called a tax write-off. People need to start reading. You know what I'm saying?
They do. They yeah, I feel you. You know, yeah, people do. You know, and another thing that you want to consider when you start putting together your 501(c) and start doing your thing with the youth. You know, me and Melly talk about this, and a lot of people, when you start trying to push a narrative, or when you start trying to redirect somebody's thinking, we have to give them something. We have to be able to provide some type of resources for them, my brother.
Yeah,
Get what I'm saying? You know, we have to, you know, because you can't just tell it. You can't just tell, excuse my French, Melly, but you just can't tell a motherfucker to stop gang banging. You can't tell somebody to get off the corner.
You got to be able to give something. If you're willing to take something away, you got to be able to replace it with something better.
There you go, big bro. And,
see, that's what with me. No, you go ahead. You go ahead, then I go.
And I was hearing about, you know, how you were drawn to the block, you know, having to get money. You did what I'm saying, to put food on the family, put food on the plate for your family, man. I commend you for that, man. You know what I'm saying? Because even though, you know, sometimes we got to go out there and do what we got to do to take care of our families. You got some people who won't even take that initial step, you know, and another thing, when it comes to homelessness, I need you to understand something about homelessness too, not only here in California, but just throughout the nation. There are other unmitigating factors that are that we have to take into consideration when it comes to homelessness. Because I hear in San Diego, man, in California, man, you got a lot of people who really don't have to be homeless. Homelessness has a lot to do, because I worked in the industry, mental illness, of course, people on drugs and all those types of things. And we do have to take into consideration that, you know, of the high cost of living here on the west side, you dig? So we do got to take all that in consideration, but for you to be 39, 40 years old, man, you're starting to get up there a little bit. You're not a spring chicken, but you're very wise for your age, man. You dig what I'm saying? And continue to build on your platform. Stay down for your crown. You did what I'm saying? Because I'm a Brimster as well, an original, one of the first ones from back in the day. Brimstead started, you know what I'm saying, at Harvard Park. You did what I'm saying in the 1970, 71. You did, and I heard you say something about Harvard Park, like, you know, we don't subscribe to this, we don't subscribe to that. If you're a Brimster, you got to subscribe to Harvard Park. You did what I'm saying? Because that's where it started at. You understand what I'm saying?
When I was talking about subscribing, I'm talking about as far as like, it wasn't in Jersey. Like people only attach their names to Brim because now, all right, Jersey led the foundation. So instead of us going to Fruitown Brim, I'm gonna go over here, I'm gonna go over there. That's cool, you being a Brim, but show some respect. Push it the right way and the correct way. Stop doing the internet shit. Stop putting titles to shit that you didn't earn. Because you have people that actually die behind this shit. That's what I'm talking about, homie. You know what I mean? Because I definitely know.
You just clarified. Yeah, because I was going to ask you to clarify what you meant by that. So
no, man, that's what
yeah.
that's what I get at, and I stand on that because
One
people
second, brother. One
got
second.
it
One
twisted.
second. Stone, go to my IG page, the Hood Postman, and leave me a message, and I'll get back to you right away. Leave me a message in there. Just say, hey, Professor Melly Mill, this is me. Get back at me. You know what I mean? So I know who you are. So anybody looking to send me a message or send me something off record for now, you can go to the Hood Postman on IG and you can send me a direct messaging. Okay? Thank you. Go ahead, proceed, brothers.
Let me send a quick shout out to Miss Marlena Williams, man. Bless
Man,
her
that's the
heart. I love
Postmaster General, man. That's the Postmaster General. Her and Mike Marks, man, they do their thing up in there. E-Money, they do their thing.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. So
Steve comes through as well.
Yeah. So they, the post, all the postmasters, man, we got to show y'all love. Thank you, all you brothers and sisters. One love. Now, young Gunna. So my, like I said, man, Melly will tell you, I'm the type of brother, man. I like to give people their flowers. You dig what I'm saying? Everything that you said tonight, you know what I mean, was on point. Your passion was your passion was undeniable. It was unscripted. You did what I'm saying. So me myself, I got to show you a lot of love, and I got to push a line on the fact that whatever it is that you do in the future, my young brother, I just wish you well. You dig what I'm saying? And I'm still. Yes, and I'm gonna push that. I'm still gonna push that narrative that, you know what I'm saying, because you have a platform, you have a voice in your set, you have a voice in your hood, man. You know what I'm saying? After a while, we start becoming responsible for what narrative we push to the young brothers and sisters, you know what I'm saying, that look up to us. So I need you to be aware.
Yeah, of course. I've been doing this because I honestly just became an author.
I'm listening.
I became an author last month, and then my volume 3, The Reputable, I pushed that beginning of this month. But now that's in the process being in Barnes and Nobles, and like I told Melly Mel, like volume 1 and volume 2, once the cover is completed, because I gotta redo the cover, and I had to reword some words in volume 1. Then that's going to go to volume that's going to go to Barnes and Noble as well. So it's going to be in stores, whereas though instead of just ordering online, you can just go in the store and get volume 1, volume 2, volume 3. But prior to this, I've been doing volunteer work for over 4 years. Like I said, man, like I've been coming out of my pocket, and it's like at the same token, so I got mouths to feed too. You know what I mean? Like for real. And like this is my passion. This not something I just came in because like I gotta I have a website, Rebuilding Lost Soul, and that's like everything I'm doing with my books, because I'm continue doing these series, because it's a series, because everything is about like in volume 1, Visible Tears is about a woman.
There you go, Lakeisha.
She be 41 this year, and her father's from Pueblo Bloods. You know what I mean? Her brother, when she introduced me to, that's how I got contact with Trebo from when I went out there in August. Because I was in LA, because I came back to the East Coast right before Thanksgiving this past. I was in LA for 3 months, because I'm always out in LA and different parts of LA, being in hoods and shit, whatever. This building, I mean, I don't get high. I rarely drink, you know what I'm saying? But me personally, I like being around older heads all my life. You understand what I'm saying? Because you could always find them gems and jewels. The more you listen and the less you talk, you're gonna find a gem. So I always be around. That's how you get laced. And at the same token, that's what helps me derogatory these kids that go to a straight and narrow. That's why I force on the kids most, because it's hard to redirect a broken man. A woman you can get quicker before a broken man, because us as men as a whole dealing with black men, our pride and ego. That's what's killing us the most. Is our pride and ego.
Yes.
You understand? So that's I focus more on the schools. Like right now, I'm working on trying to get in the elementary schools, whereas they'll start getting them at the grade 3rd and 4th. Because especially what we have for social media, whereas though it's hard to, you know what I mean, dictate what they doing on them phones, these smartphones, these laptops, and things like that. Whereas though you start getting them near before they hit 6th and 7th grade, because by the time they get 6th grade, that's when they start smelling themselves and they start rebelling. They start thinking they grown.
And you know what? I'm thinking, not to cut you off, young brother, but I'm thinking, man, when it comes to parenting, man, I think we as parents, have to start stepping up our game and taking the phones away from the kids when it's time for them to do their homework and go to bed. You did. My son and daughter, they grown now, but they had phones, and at 7:30 in the evening, you did what I'm saying, when it was time for, I have 2 daughters and a son. My oldest baby is a police officer in Atlanta.
Yeah.
My middle girl's slot manager at VA House. My son is 22 years old, and this little brother's in grad school. He's about to get his master's degree. Melly met my son. He's a real sharp brother. He remind me of yourself.
What's the biggest hood in the world?
The biggest hood in the world, ain't that something? You know what I'm saying? The biggest hood in the world is the United States government. You dig what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It's them people that's sitting on the Senate. It's them people that's sitting in Congress. It's that punk ass Biden and Kamala that's sitting up there.
There's one bigger than that.
What is it? Explain it to me. Parenthood. Okay. Thank you, Melly, and thank you for clarifying. So now that Melly done.
So because you guys are speaking about parenthood, so that's why it's important that parents get involved in these young kids' lives and be more, because when I was growing up, parents was very involved. So
and I still
we don't have that.
We don't have.
Why?
Yeah, you're right. You don't.
You want to know why? Because if anybody pay attention what VH1 do, and the sisters, the women in particular, they have so much
culture.
Huh?
Women teach it. It is the woman that teach the kids the culture. Their first part of culture comes from the woman.
Yes, but what I'm getting at is that the insecurities, whereas though they looking so much for validation of trying to be cute and trying to be better than the next woman beside them on a different group of women, they doing whatever it takes to get body parts removed.
Marlena,
looking a certain way.
Hold on just a second. Marlena, would you help the brother out with the correct spelling on the Hood Postman? Because he's looking for my thing on IG, but he put in the incorrect spelling. It's DAHOODPOSTMAN. One word. You can't separate it, bro. Okay, go ahead. Sorry about that.
Yes, but like when I was in the feds, I checked it about 2 episodes, and I said to a Kansas City 6 Deuce Brim homie, I'm like, blood, if I was home, I would never let my daughters watch this shit. You want to know why? Because it's teaching them how to be insecure about themselves. If you can't love yourself, if you can't appreciate what you was blessed with your body, then how do you expect another young man, a man, to love you when you don't even love yourself?
It's funny
that you say that need to be pushed to these little girls. They need to start hearing and listening to that from a man, because hearing it from a man, then that changed the narrative where they start stopping for continue doing that. Because now women, I came up in a time when mothers, they use their income tax to get to catch up on their bills, and if they had extra money, right, they would get new furniture. They don't even do that no more. You know what they doing now? They spending all their damn money on getting new breast implants and butt implants.
Man, it's so crazy. It's so crazy, young Gunna, that you say that, man, because my mother, man, every 3 years we had brand new furniture in the living room.
Yeah.
My my mother would change up the environment of the house. You dig what I'm saying? And she would damn, that's cool that you said that because
because you know that was a time when mothers was single. You know, they got multiple kids or whatever, so they got extra money, they got room to breathe, whereas to catch up what they need to catch up on until something else come through. These young ladies don't ever think like that. They weren't about being popular.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that's
sad.
Well, it's sad, but you know, it's still, you know, we have to incorporate that particular narrative into those particular affirmations when we talking to these kids about certain things. All those types of things that we talking about now, they have to be added, because when my daughters got 5 years old, you know, I would go in the bathroom and they would be they only 3 years apart, but they would be in the bathtub taking a bath. Their mama owned a beauty salon. I would be there with my daughters by themselves. But after they got 5 and 6 years old, I started teaching my daughters that no man should see their body naked unless it's their husband, not even their dad. So what I started doing was when they start, I would monitor them taking a bath when their mother wasn't around, but I would make my daughters put on a towel when they got on the bathroom, when they got out the bathtub, so that I wouldn't even know I was their dad, so that I was teaching them that no man, unless he's your husband, should see your body exposed, not even your dad.
I want to get on the men though, because it's not just a woman, it is weak, grown boys.
Yeah.
Explain.
Because they always making excuses how the mother or the woman don't let them see their kids. The same energy you go to that liquor store, the same you go to that weed man, the same you go to pop them pills, the same you looking for them Jordans. That's the same energy you could put to go get your see your child. If you really love being a father, you really want to spend quality time, you're gonna do whatever it takes to be and stay in your child life. And most importantly, right? And most importantly, people not to forget this, man. When it came cool for a young man and man to be comfortable for a young lady or woman to take care of them. Since I've been out of prison, I've been home 8 years.
That shit ain't cool.
The average young man and man, they look for a woman, a young lady to take care of them. I see it all the time, and I be everywhere.
You know,
I
think that's a mental situation as well. A lot of brothers who have grown up, you know, in single households, didn't have their fathers around. They were raised by their mothers. If they had multiple sisters in the house, you know what I mean? You know, and that's a different topic for a different day. But you're right, young brother. You know what I'm saying? It is sad because I think when a brother practices that type of when he's looking for what we would call a safe haven, you dig what I'm saying? He's just looking for a mama figure, man.
So let me touch on it just a little bit. So we live in a society where they're raising young men to want 5 things, and you probably both of you guys probably know one of these guys that's going to fit in this category. And the 5 things are a PlayStation, a blunt, a girl with a nice butt, a couch, and social assistance. Now, how one sustain life based on those 5 things is beyond me. But what happens? The young lady sit there day in and day out, watch him sit on that couch, PlayStation, blunt, playing his game. She's leaving out, going out to get certifications, to get a coding or become a dentist technician or X-ray. And once she gets her certification, she comes back and say, "Look, hey, I got this new job and I can't do you no more." That's when the dude becomes angry, because now he don't realize that this woman don't outgrew him and no longer he's no longer needed because he was just there. But what God's got to understand, one of the most powerful emotions that a man have is the desire to have sex. If he somehow harnessed it and transmuted it to a monetary equivalent, he'd be that much further ahead. Let me explain. In other words, we spend so much time chasing coochie, right? Young men, right? But if they put that same time and energy in building their life, they wouldn't have to look for no woman. Woman gonna find him.
Yes.
Woman gonna find him.
Think with this instead of thinking inside their pants.
Yeah. Woman gonna find him.
That's gonna come regardless, but you gotta make sure
he gonna set herself aside from. That's when you set yourself away from the men. You can tell the men from the boys at that point.
Yes.
A man. He gonna provide. He gonna meet you halfway.
We are natural providers.
Boy, he just always looking to get over.
Women and children are loved unconditionally. A man have to. The way a man is loved is the way he provides.
Yeah.
See,
I know. For me, like I gotta help. I gotta be provided. Like,
yeah,
I can't just sit around. Like I said, at age 10, I had the mentality is to keep these lights on. That was my mentality at 92. So
yes,
a lot of times I don't be trying to hear excuses where from anybody saying, "Oh, because he was young and man." I grew up with a single mother. I ain't grew up with no father, man.
Napoleon Hill, bro.
No, I mean I grew up about a bunch of women, so like I don't be trying to hear that.
Hey, but listen, Gunna.
I know different stroke for different folks, but man,
I gotta get up out of here, man. I got a long day tomorrow, man. And I'm enjoying this conversation, man. We gotta do it again, man. Gunna, you got my number, ball game. You got my number. We'll link up at some point and we'll do it again, man. I appreciate you, Gunna, coming in and sharing and being very passionate and direct. That's necessary because we can't be soft on these issues. We got to come in hard, man. You know, I like to say I'm building the airplane while I fly it. So I keep this platform going, and every day I'm placing a brick in the foundation to hope it gets better, stronger, and just greater than the day before. So with that said, ball gang, take us out, man. What you got to give the people?
Man, this is my thing, man. You know, I will always give Mr. Melly Mel his flowers because his content is thought provoking. You understand what I'm saying? He comes in unbiased. He comes in neutral. And Melly Mel is putting together a platform where he's giving people, you know, he's giving the people a situation to where they can come in and they can tell their stories. And then we can come up with, you know, reputable solutions to, you know, how can we correct some of the things that we done been through, you know, as Black people, man. You know, Gunna, young Gunna, I really appreciate you, young brother. Like I said tonight, you know, you a young man, but you taught me some things. I'm 54, about to be 55 years old.
Yeah.
There it is, there. Young Gunna, take us out, bro.
Take us out, young Gunna.
Man, I appreciate for those that's listening. I'm just an individual just sharing this story. And most importantly, my whole thing is changing the narrative, man. They not troubled teens, they misguided, they lost souls. So that's why I have a website called Rebuilding Lost Souls. You know, and that's it, man. If people want to connect, like network, you contact me at Brimstone on Instagram, or contact Melly Mel, and I get he can send me your number or whatever, you know what I mean? And we build from there. But I'm gonna make it clear.
Say that right there.
I'm gonna make it clear.
So you guys
talking about any gangs and was done in the streets and who started what. I don't care about none of that.
He keep going.
You know what I mean? That's it, man. Because I be getting messages like, yo, you know what I mean? Like, I don't care about that. I appreciate it.
Marlena Williams told me to tell you guys have a great night.
Yeah.
Marlena Williams said, Postmaster General said, you guys have a great night.
No, you have a great night too.
Be sure to click the notification bell, like, subscribe, and share. And also drop me a comment down below, because when the dope content hit, it's going to feel like the 1st and 15th. Some of y'all don't know about that 1st and 15th, but the government used to drop a check off every 1st and 15th. So the full post, man, y'all tap back in on Wednesday. It'll be Wisdom Wednesday.
First to the 17th was the good days.
So, man, shout out to y'all brothers, man. We are gone.
Right. Peace and love and blessings to everybody.
Peace and blessings, man. Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings. Shout out to the Mailroom Nation. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. We had an awesome time. We'll be back Wednesday for Wisdom Wednesday. And look forward to seeing you guys all, especially all my New Jersey people that came in the chat. I want to see y'all back. And my California people, y'all the best, man. Texas people, New York people, wherever melanated people are, man, we got to get it together. We got to do it as a collective. Get on Young Compton, much love. We got to get on Cole. We got to get on. Shout out to Marlene and Williams. Shout out to Young Compton. Shout out to Tanisha. Cosgrove, what's going on? Lakeisha, Johnny Sullivan, Reader than you, realer than you. Sorry about it. Mike Marks. Shout out to the Postmaster Generals. Shout out to you guys, man. I appreciate you guys coming in with me tonight. So once again, we are gone. We are gone. Salute.